Thank you so much for attending these sessions. These are recharger for all of us. You all can come, friends, so that you can have some connect. So we'll start with the prayers. You can all repeat after me in a very prayerful mood, begging the mercy of the previous acharyas. For these prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om Ajnanaatimirandasya.
Om Ajnanaatimirandasya.
Jnananjanashalakaya.
Jnananjanashalakaya.
Chakshurunmilitam yena.
Chakshurunmilitam yena.
Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Nama Om Vishnupadaya.
Nama Om Vishnupadaya.
Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale.
Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale.
Shri Bhaktivedanta
Srimate Bhaktivedanta
Swamin iti namine
Swamin iti namine
Namaste Saraswate Deve
Namaste Saraswate Deve
Gauravani Pracharine
Gauravani Pracharine
Nirvishesha Shunyavadi
Nirvishesha Shunyavadi
Pashatya Deshatarine
Pashatya Deshatarine
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda
Prabhu Nityananda
Shri Advaita Gadadhara
Shri Advaita Gadadhara
Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
All of us together raising the hands. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachana, angulyam dhritendram, yatkripatamaham vande, Shri Guru Devatarana, Anam Paramanandamanam, Shri Chaitanya Vishnu. Shri Prabhupada. So, today we are also having a very important session. It's a very practical session for all of us, and we are diving deep into Bhagavad Gita week after week. So today's topic will be Make Victory a Second Nature, and we dedicate this presentation to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So we have heard the glories of Prabhupada right before this session. So we are always indebted to Prabhupada because Krishna came down to this material world and he gave Bhagavad Gita. But that Bhagavad Gita was not reachable to us until and unless Srila Prabhupada took his efforts to translate it to the English and spread it and gave it all over the world. And to start, we will just have a small quiz. Don't worry, it's not a serious one. So with respect to Mahabharata, especially Bhagavad Gita. So on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, so one side we had Pandavas and other side we had Kauravas. So we see how, where did this battle happen? Kurukshetra, on the battlefield. So Pandavas, there's something called Akshawni, units of the warriors. So anybody is aware how many Akshawnis of warriors were there on the Pandava side? 7 Akshawnis, 7 Akshawnis, very nice. On the Kaurava side? 11 Akshawnis. So this actually one Akshawni, for your information, it has 21,870 chariots. You can imagine, like a big warfare and 21,870 chariots. Just one Akshawni. We are talking about total how many? 11 plus 7, 18 Akshawnis. So and then 21,870 elephants. We can imagine big huge elephants. And then 65,610 horses. And then 1,93,350 soldiers. This is all I told about just one Akshawni. So you can imagine like 18 Akshawnis of like soldiers, warriors, elephants, chariots together standing two sides. And you all might know some background of like Bhagavad Gita, especially Mahabharata. Like how Krishna, basically as a peace messenger, Krishna went to the Kauravas, and Krishna asked that who were Pandavas? They were Kshatriyas. So Kshatriyas means they were kings basically. So they need a kingdom to rule. That's when we call them kings, correct? So how many of them? Pandavas, how many of them? There were 5 of them. So when Krishna went as a peace messenger to Duryodhana, Krishna asked, just give us 5 kingdom. Okay, that's it, he said. Actually the kingdom belonged to whom? It belonged to the Pandavas themselves. But forgetting everything, they thought that that's okay. Let us not have a war to start with. So let us just begin with making peace. So Krishna asked 5 kingdoms. And then Krishna came down to 5 villages. Because it is said that for a Kshatriya, if he doesn't have anything to rule, it is equal to him like dying. Because he must have some kingdom or some small part of a like village to rule. So the ask was just 5 villages. Was it a big ask? Like 5 villages. I mean, even now the panchayats have like many number of villages. What to say about our like like great warriors like Pandavas. It was such a such a least demand that they could ask. And we can see how Pandavas, when Krishna asked for the demand, Pandavas were like very agreeing with Krishna that okay, 5 villages are okay, we are ready to make peace. But you know what Duryodhan said? Duryodhan said that I will not even give a land where a pin to prick the pin, how much place is needed, no? That much place is also, that much place also I won't give. And then the war was inevitable because as a Kshatriya they need to rule. So they need kingdom. So Krishna, who is Supreme Personality of Godhead, went as a peace messenger and they didn't agree. So then they thought that they say no, Sama, Bheda, Rama, then Bhanda. So we cannot do anything. We need the kingdom back because it is their kingdom. And we also see that how was the Arjuna situation. So when the battle started basically, so Arjuna even knew that he has to fight against his cousins, his relatives basically. And Arjuna says, Krishna, that please, not even please, go and situate my chariot in between of the two armies. Arjuna instructs Krishna. And Krishna, normally in a movie how hero enters, like there will be lot of fireworks, like fire, then bomb blast, and then like there will be cars moving, and then the hero enters with a grave look, and he'll be wearing the best of the dresses, and we can imagine. And our supreme hero Krishna, how he is entering the battlefield? In the form of a servant. So Krishna, we can see, he is Bhakta Vatsala. He is reciprocating with the devotees and he is ready to become a servant for the devotees also. He is ready to give himself for the devotees. He is not, see, when it comes to us, like on a very practical level, even showing ourselves as a devotee is a very big thing out to the outside world, because we are so much worried about what people think of us and things like that. You can imagine, like, for ages to come, how is Krishna portrayed? The Supreme Personality of Godhead portrayed? He is portrayed as a servant, and servant who is bringing the chariot in between the two armies. And going out of this session, so how is the how is the intimation given to the Arjuna whenever they want to go right or left? Arjuna is kicking Krishna. Can you imagine somebody kicking Krishna and Krishna holding the kicks? Like, even if somebody would kick us 2-3 times, we would one we will give them back after 3 to 4 times. But Krishna is so merciful that he is ready to become a servant. And now Krishna, he agrees the instruction of Arjuna, then he takes the chariot in between the two armies, and he places the chariot in such a way that Arjuna can see his grandfather Bhishma Dev. Then Arjuna can see Dronacharya. Who is Dronacharya? His guru. And then his all other cousins, Duryodhana and all others. Now Arjuna, we know that how great warrior Arjuna was. And you would have heard the story of Swayamvara. How Arjuna, like, just by seeing the reflection on the water, he could hit the eye of a fish and he could win over Draupadi. And even there are many other stories where we could see that Arjuna won over like a huge army just himself. And such Arjuna, when he saw his kinsmen, his relatives, especially his guru and his his grandfather, he was shaken. And he was like, his hands were trembling, and his body was trembling, hair was standing on top of his hands, and then he was shivering, and his his body became hot, and he was so he became so weak. He just kept his Gandiva down. And for your information, in between somewhere he takes a oath that if somebody asks me to keep my Gandiva down, I will just kill them. He has taken that vow. Such a ambitious Arjuna. Now when seeing his kinsmen, seeing his relatives, he's become so weak, he becomes so low. And this Arjuna's low phase of life seems to be a very big thing, especially on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. But when it comes to our situation, even we go through day in day out so many small Kurukshetras around us. So for Arjuna, basically for the Pandavas, who were the opponents? Kauravas. For us, who are the opponents? Ourselves. Then extended, who are there? Family, managers, Well, friends, relatives, our own mind. Have you thought about our own mind, like how you were saying? So many times we face challenges with our own mind that majority of the times we cannot win over our mind at all. Even though like so much we try, we know that it's wrong, but we cannot control our mind. And we all have our darks and grey part of our life, and it's not about it's not about me, you. Everybody has to go through this. Everybody. In fact, the material world is called dukkhalaya. Like how I always I heard from a very great speaker that in Himalaya, what can we expect? We can expect snow, Hima. So if somebody goes to Himalaya and says, "Arey, why is there snow?" What will we tell them? You're a mad person, you're going to Himalaya and what are you expecting? You should see snow there. Similarly, what is this life on the material world called as dukkhalaya? And if somebody says, "Oh, why am I suffering?" What should we say? What should we tell them? Crazy person, you have come to this material world which is dukkhalaya, and alaya means place. Everybody knows. You have come to this place of miseries and you are telling, yes, there is difficulties. What kind of a person you are? And we also see that how everything around is giving us trouble, like how for Pandavas one big Kurukshetra war and the troublemakers were like Kauravas, and the war is inevitable. The war against ourselves, the war against our mind, the war against our own relatives, friends, everything, it's inevitable. It's not at all in our control. Like how Arjuna, he tried to make peace. Krishna tried to make peace, but when the peace making didn't happen, so the war was inevitable. But if you see, we cannot avoid challenges. Everybody agrees to this point. Challenges keep coming, and the best thing about the successful people is that they don't hide from challenges. They face challenges boldly, and they come out with flying colors. And for example, have you seen I'll tell you a small story. A small boy, he was sitting in the garden and he was seeing a cocoon. Cocoon, everybody knows, it's coming out of that shell, and he's seeing that the cocoon is struggling. The half the body of the cocoon is come out, and the cocoon is struggling so much. And this boy who is innocent, he thinks that I must help the cocoon. So what he does, he takes a scissor and slowly he cuts the cocoon, the shell basically. The butterfly comes out, but the butterfly tries to fly, and the butterfly falls down. What happened? Actually, what happened is that by the rule of the nature, only by the struggle we get the strength. Not just in humans, even in various species of life. The example I'm giving is butterfly so that you can understand. So when the cocoon puts all its efforts, all its strength to come out of that the shell, what happens is that there is a huge rush of blood flowing out, which will make the wings, which will basically grow the wings, which will make the wings stronger. And then when the butterfly automatically comes out in its own time, the butterfly flies with flies out with colors. But same butterfly, when it's not struggling, what happened? Even though it came out, it didn't come out successfully. It didn't come out with flying colors, basically flying. See, in the same way, when we go through our struggles also, when we take that struggles and work through that struggles in a positive way, we see that we can also come out with the flying colors. And we also see that it's not as easy as we say. So many a times we see that the people who go through the success rates, they don't tell anything about their failures. Very rarely we see some motivational speakers speaking about some failure reasons, because nobody wants to show their negative side to anyone, to the world especially, because that will portray them as weak, and nobody wants to be weak in this material. I mean, in this world, nobody wants to show. Have you seen anybody posting a status showing I'm laid off today? But if somebody is getting promotion, not just them, they will send that poster to all their relatives, and I have seen that the relatives also, oh bhaiya, congratulations, very proud of you. they'll post. But behind that promotion, how many times he has struggled, how many to get that job, to get to that level, nobody wants to show. And we also see that how when it comes to struggle, how Arjuna, when he was struggling in this position, that he told Krishna that he kept his Gandiva down, and then he told Krishna, "Oh Govinda, I cannot fight." Now Krishna speaks the whole Bhagavad Gita, and the whole Bhagavad Gita, it's not just for Arjuna, it's just for all of us. Bhagavad Gita is called life manual, because if you see the same Arjuna, he has fought with the same set of people and he has won over them. But these great personalities, via these great personalities, Krishna wants to teach us. Let's say if you are at the peak time of your failure, and then if somebody goes and if I come and tell you, do this so and so, you will say, right now please give me some practical way. But if that same thing happened with Arjuna, you can imagine it was in the battlefield. See, our lives are still simple. It's not a battle. Definitely we have our own small battles in the office, in the personal life. But you can imagine, like how I said, 18 Kshonis like standing, and so many like crores of people. In fact, you know how many crores of people died in the battlefield of Kurukshetra? They said 64 crore people died in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So you can imagine the heat of the situation. And Arjuna standing in between, and he is telling that I don't want to fight. And he's seeing all the symptoms of depression, anxiety. And we see that how once Arjuna gets this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita from Krishna, finally Arjuna says that Karishye Vachanam Tava. I will follow what you say, and he'll regain all his composure, he'll regain all his confidence. We'll see this over a period of time. But the main content, agenda is that how Bhagavad Gita is a manual for life, not just 5,000 years ago, even now. And we will in the course of today's session, we will see how Bhagavad Gita is so practical, and how Bhagavad Gita makes victory our second nature. And now when coming to these people, especially the egoistic people, so they say that I don't have any problem, everything is good in my life, I have good job, good house, good car, everything, I have like a smooth butter life. But I have a question. Do you think all these things are permanent? Anybody? Take it to anybody. Nothing is permanent. And the first part of the material world was Dukkhalayam. What was the second part, you know? It's called Ashashvatam. So you can always remember. Dukkhalayam and Ashashvatam. Anything you take, any person you take, including the human being himself, is he permanent? Definitely the soul is permanent, but he has to give up his body also when he quits when he dies. That's why, at least all Indians, I say that we know that when somebody dies, what do we say? He passed away, we say. And we see that the body is still lying. So who passed away? The soul passed away. And we see these egoistic people, they consider that no, our life is a better life now, and all these teachings of Bhagavad Gita, it doesn't apply to us. But we see that stock markets crash, and now such high rate of inflation. Any richest of the rich can become beggars, and there's so many stories. I don't even have to quote. So we see that nothing in this material world remains a constant, and everybody has to go through this low phase, and nobody can say that I don't have any challenges, I don't want to face any, I'm all living happily and I don't want to face any challenges. And see, when it comes to all these like becoming rich, becoming poor, or something that is enacting on us, now based on Shastra, based on so many sessions we had, you can tell me what is that thing that is affecting, like all what we do, basically what is that thing that is enacting on us? What was the last session that we discussed? Anybody remembers? Something that is affecting all of us, that is affects what we do, how we succeed, how we fail, everything that happens to us. Yeah, one is karma. And what was the last session about? Okay, we will be sharing the recording, so you should all watch the last session, and you can personally message me what is that thing that we were talking about. I'll ensure that today Mataji will send it in the group. You all watch that. It's a very, very important session. See, when we know what are we controlled by, what are we affected by, so when we go through the phase of failures, especially when we go through difficulties, we are not shaken. In fact, we will take more shelter of Bhagavad Gita, and we will see what Krishna is telling us that can help us. And that's the best thing about this Vedic culture. That's why we see, like I always repeat, that we don't see this culture of depression, suicide and anxiety and everything in the Vedic culture, especially including our our parents and grandparents and things like that. So you all can watch that session, and it's a very, very important session, and then you can figure out the answer yourself. And like we see that so many things, especially the karma, it matters. And Duryodhana, if you see, he had all the potentials. We see that these motivational speakers, they say that expertise and organization leads to success. And they say that you give your 100%, you do your best, you just have a plan, have an action plan, and then you just tick the marks off, and then you'll just succeed, they say. And they say this is like the list. They say that you identify the right people, then you offer them the right bait, you estimate what is your strength, what is your weakness, you work on your strength, then you forget about your weakness, or you slowly like see how you can like develop your weakness into strength, and then you analyze what is the pain, what is the gain, you make a solid plan of action, and you carry everyone with you, and you be positive. And if you see Duryodhana, he did all these things. He had 11 akshunis, like how I said, and he had a right goal that yes, I just have to win over them. And he knew what is his strength. He knew that Bhishma and Drona were his strength. In fact, in the first few shlokas of Bhagavad Gita, you can go back and read today if you have not read. Duryodhana is so much a diplomat that he goes and he says to Bhishma, first he goes to Bhishma and he says, he glorifies Bhishma, and then he also glorifies his spiritual master, and then we see that he inspires his whole soldiers, and he analyzes what is his gain, like what is his strength, what is his weakness, and then he was all positive that yes, I will win today. But what happened? Failure. At the end of the day, who won? Pandavas. And we will see what made Pandavas win, and what made Duryodhana and especially the Kauravas lose. So we can chant this beautiful shloka. You can all repeat after me. Pashyetam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Vyudham Drupada Putrena Tava Shishyena Dhimataha. So here we see identifying the right people and offering the right bait. So anybody can read translation?
My teacher, behold the great army of our sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada.
So the story behind this goes like this. Now Duryodhan, he is going to Dronacharya, his guru, and he is telling that look at this army of Pandavas. This army is arranged by whom? Son of Drupad. And who is Drupad, you know? He was a close friend of Dronacharya. They were childhood friends. Dronacharya and Drupad, they were childhood friends. And in that moment of friendship, Drupad was a son of a king. So Drupad, out of that friendly affection, he promised Dronacharya that when we grow up, when I inherit my kingdom, I'll give half of my kingdom to you. It happens, no? When we are in a small age or like when we were young also, we give so many promises. I'll give you that, I'll give you this, like that. So Drupad, he promised. Now when time passed and when everybody grew older, now what happened is Dronacharya, he was a Brahmana. And actually, who is a Brahmana? He doesn't keep any wealth to himself. He keeps only that much of wealth that is sufficient for him to live his life, and then he distributes the wealth. So there came a point where Dronacharya, he could not even give milk to his kids. At that time, he remembers the words of Drupad. So he thinks that let me go and let me remind my friend about my woe. We also do that, no? Let's say some of our friends, if they say that, see, don't worry, when your difficulty come to me. But we know that when we go to them, they give reasons, 100 reasons, and they send us out. So similarly, same thing happened to Drupad. In fact, when Dronacharya went to Drupad, he insulted Dronacharya. He said that, how dare you ask a king like me to give? Do you think it's such a easy thing? I mean, it's such a simple thing to give away the half of the kingdom. I will not give you anything. Please go. At that time, it offended Dronacharya. Dronacharya was offended. And then what Dronacharya did? He went back and he asked his disciples, students, that can anybody go and win a war against Drupad? He raised a challenge. First, Kauravas went. What happened? Kauravas failed and then they came back. And then Pandavas went. When Pandavas went, they won over Drupad. And then they brought Drupad to the assembly of Dronacharya. And Drupad was completely ashamed. You can imagine a king then like losing over a small set of students, 5 students of Dronacharya, and then getting bringing a king like that to the assembly of Dronacharya. The Drupad was very offended, and Drupad, what he did, he performed a yajna, and in that yajna 2 personalities came up. Anybody knows who are those two personalities? Drishtadyumna and Draupadi. So Draupadi we all know, but Drishtadyumna was especially born out of that yajna to kill Dronacharya. So we see the Vedic culture was so nice that when Drupad, very diplomatically, when he sent his son Drishtadyumna to get the knowledge under whom? Under Dronacharya himself. Now you all are clear, no? Dronacharya will be killed by Drishtadyumna, and Drishtadyumna is sent to get the training from whom? From Dronacharya himself. But when a student wants to take shelter of a guru, if he sees if a student is qualified, even if he is an enemy, the guru will give him the shelter and he will teach him exactly everything he taught to all the Pandavas, all the Kauravas, without any distinction that he might kill. We can see what kind of a guru shishya, what kind of gurus they were. And we see here what Duryodhana is trying to do. Duryodhana is trying to instill that anger in Dronacharya, because Dronacharya and Bhishma, even though they were on the party of Kauravas, they had a soft corner for Pandavas. So now he has to instill that anger. He has to be diplomatic. So he is reminding, see, you taught Drupada's son Drishtadyumna all the skills. Now he has brought the whole army and he is standing. This is what you wanted, he is telling. So it so happens, no, that sometimes when we knowingly, when somebody wants us that don't do it, and when we do it, they say, this is what I told you. See what happened now. Do you see? So same thing Duryodhana is doing. And then he is also, actually Duryodhana is very much fearful that he will lose. That fear he cannot show, so he is instilling anger in others. And then he also goes to Bhishma, and he inspires Bhishma. Oh Bhishma, on our side we have you, Bhishma Dev, who is so strong. On their side, who is there? Bhima is there. Actually, if you know the story, who is destined to kill Duryodhana? Bhima. So he knows that very well that Bhima is he can kill Duryodhana. Bhima is the only person who can kill Duryodhana. But again, see, the thing is that, again, when it comes to the modern world, we see that everybody is struggling all around us. Everybody is struggling with one or the other thing, but they are so fearful to show it to others. In fact, we cannot hide things for long. That is another thing. But people are so expert at showing that they are successful that they hide everything, that they hide their failure stories, they hide what they are going through, they hide their emotions, all their panic attacks, anxieties. And you think so these things will not come out. They will get accumulated, they will become a mountain, and when they come out, all these things like suicidal thoughts, all these things when they come out. That's why we see earlier people, they were simple at heart. Crops came up, they'll celebrate and they'll distribute. Crops didn't come up, they will go take shelter of others, and then they'll borrow, and that barter system was there, and they were not worried about, oh, this time I failed, so what will happen? No, they were not at all worried. They were very sure that whatever happens, life goes on, and they were very happy. It's not that they were very sad like all of us, especially the IT people. Next sloka we'll see. अपर्याप्तं तदस्माकं
अपर्याप्तं तदस्माकं
बलं भीष्माभिरक्षितं
बलं भीष्माभिरक्षितं
पर्याप्तं त्वइदमेतेषां
पर्याप्तं त्वइदमेतेषां
बलं भीमाभिरक्षितं.
बलं भीमाभिरक्षितं.
Can anyone read loudly?
Our strength is immeasurable and we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma, whereas the strength of the Pandavas, carefully protected by Bhima, is limited.
This is what I was discussing. Actually, if you see Duryodhan, he is very confused. He just doesn't want to show the confusion because he's like leading now. Let's say he shows the confusion, whole army, 11 Akshunis, they'll fall down. Because if we see our leader is weak, who wants to fight for such a leader? So he's like collecting all his composure. And at one point he's thinking that, oh, these Bhishma Dev, these Dronacharya, they will not give their 100%. So he's instilling anger in them, he's inspiring them, he's praising them. He's praising all the soldiers, he's praising all the commanders. He's telling Bhishma Dev, you are the only one who is responsible for the victory. In their side, Bhima is there, he cannot do anything. And then they're seeing other soldiers might be disappointed because we are only glorifying Dronacharya and Bhishma. Then very diplomatically he says, see, when Bhishma is fighting against someone, he is very old person. So he also needs support, no? So all of you be very alert and support Bhishma Dev. Like that. He is so diplomatic, he is training everyone that yes, some or other hook or crook, we have to win this one. And on the other side, next moment he is very confident that Bhishma Dev and Duryodhana are on my side. Why? Anybody knows why he is confident? Is there any, like, can you think of any incident where Vastrapaharan? We see that when Draupadi Vastrapaharan was happening, Bhishma Dev, Dronacharya were in the same assembly and they didn't speak anything. So he is very sure that even though they might have a soft corner, they will give their 100% to Duryodhana, like how they supported Duryodhana when Vastrapaharan was happening. But he still knows that he knows that option 2 might be a good option, but he knows that if option 1 happens, then I'll fail. So he doesn't want to give any chance for him to lose. So he goes to like all these warriors, especially the great warriors like Bhishma, and then he inspires them. Here, aparyaptam means like insufficient. Paryaptam means sufficient. You see that how he's telling that your strength, Bhishma Dev, is sufficient. Bhima's strength, insufficient. But in his mind, what he's telling, I don't know what happens at what moment Bhima will come and he'll kill me. And we see like how he's telling 11 like Akshonis, such expert people. You can, like, whatever he is telling, it is truth. Dronacharya is the one who taught all these Pandavas. So you can imagine the strength of Dronacharya. You can imagine the tactics Dronacharya knows as a guru. And then second thing is Bhishma Dev. Bhishma Dev was Maharathi. Maharathi means he could fight against like thousands of soldiers at once. So we can imagine like how brave the soldiers, especially the warriors, were on the side of Duryodhana. And after all these things, all these expert management, expert motivational talk that he gave, expert inspiration he gave, the Akshonis, the way the military stood and the way he composed himself. After all these things, what happened? Who won the Kurukshetra war? At the end of the day, it is Pandavas. So this means that our talents and skills are needed, but it is not the only thing that will help us become successful in life. Because people say, no, you are intelligent, it's sufficient. There are so many intelligent people. In fact, if you see our IT itself, people are so much intelligent that they want to start so many startups. They think that we will become billionaires. And then when they fail, they cannot accept the failure. Because first thing is they have high thinking about themselves in their own mind, live about others. And when that fails, they cannot accept that they failed. So especially in this modern world, as the Kali is progressing, we see that the nature of failure very, very hard to accept. Even the smallest of the small failures. What to say about offices? We see school kids like committing suicides not because they failed, because they got 1 or 2 marks less than others. In fact, the backbenchers are the ones who will be most successful in their life because they're very careless and they know how to handle failures. But the common, and so much of pressure, so much of expectations, like how Duryodhana was posing himself, so much of expectations that what others will think, what family will think, what neighbors will think, so much of expectations. And even after all these skills, Duryodhana failed. So now next few slides we will just discuss about what is the cause of success that is given in Bhagavad Gita. See, these are the sign victories of Pandavas. You can remember a holy environment. We will discuss about what led the victory of Pandavas, led to the victory of Pandavas, how we can apply this victory in our life so that we can also create that like atmosphere for victory in our life. Basically, we are following the life manual. Now we see this holy environment. It's not just about definitely when we hear about holy environment, what we first think of? Cleanliness. It's not just about the external cleanliness, about the internal cleanliness. Like some question I'll ask you. It's a very simple question. When you all enter this room, this is like a flat, you all would be knowing. It's a simple flat. And when you all from outside world, when you all enter this room, how many of you all at least at once felt little good, little spiritual vibration, little calming, peaceful? So you can imagine yourself. This is something you all have experienced, even I have experienced. We can see when we go to temples, when we go to like powerful spiritual places like this, definitely everything is maintained clean and neat and everything, but the question we need to ask is what kind of austerities people are doing so that they are keeping this place so potent, so clean, not just externally but internally. We see like how I said, we all can endeavor to keep our places also clean. Like we all might be staying in our own PGs or houses, but when we keep the basic thing you would have heard even outside world is, the place where we do our work or do our activities, that matters the most. And this, especially this holy environment. In the case of this war, what was the holy environment? Kurukshetra. So everybody knows first shloka. What is the first shloka of Bhagavad Gita? Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yutsava. So if you see like the Duryodhana's father, he is very much worried. What is he asking? Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yutsava mamaka pandavasyeva kimma kurvata Sanjaya. He is asking Sanjaya, now that the sons of Pandu and my sons have assembled in this Dharma kshetra, which is Kurukshetra, please tell me what is happening. He also knows what is happening, what is going to happen. But why is he asking this question? He is asking because there is the influence of the place. They say no, in the home ground it is very easy to win. So it is this. The place is Dharma kshetra. So who are towards Dharma? Pandavas. So automatically he is very sure that the Pandavas will win. So he is so much anxious. So he is very anxious that Dhritarashtra is very anxious that what will happen now? What will happen now? Let's say somebody knows that they will win. Like let's say the match goes in such a way that we know that yes, today it's our win. We will not even bother. We will see the rest of the match just thinking that how they will win. That's it. But we will not be worried. But when we know that no, this is their home ground, they know how they can win very easily, then we will be more anxious that yes, our team also should win. So what are the challenges they are facing? So this is what is happening in the end of Dhritarashtra also. He wants to know what is happening, how can our team, the Kuru's team, win. And first thing is about cleanliness, like how I was telling that external cleanliness like bathing and changing clothes, I'm sure all of us would be doing, but I have also seen when I was earlier staying in PGs, they used to take bath either in the evenings or once in 2 days, once in 3 days, and we see majority of the people, we see their bath is using perfumes. So it's very difficult to, Kali Yuga, we have to explicitly tell everyone, please take bath daily, please wear fresh clothes and come like this. And then internal cleanliness, that is, the quality, the important quality of a spiritualist is saucham, which means internal cleanliness. And if you have observed, like how I said, this place so much filled with the spiritual potency, because everybody who's staying around, who's doing the worship, who's following the standards, they're maintaining the internal cleanliness so much. Some spiritualists you can see automatically, when you see them, you feel happy. Their face is vibrant and they are so much glowing from within. And definitely you should not go to them and ask which soap you are using or what face wash you is using. You should ask them, what is that spiritual activity you are doing that is making you so vibrant, that is making you so much attractive, that is making you so like enlivening, joyful. We see like very easily we can recognize that they are different from us. We are like when people see us, they say did you sleep properly? Did you even sleep properly? Are you tired? Like that they ask. But these spiritual personalities, when we see them, there is a wonderful spiritual glow on their face. And when internally, when we cleanse ourselves, we see that easily we can absorb this wisdom of Gita. We see in the case of Arjuna, he was so pure from within that very easily, like a sponge, he could absorb Gita. See, that is the difference between like people. There are three kinds of absorption. So first level, it is information. Like many people, even in, you might be knowing that even in many of the MBA colleges, Bhagavad Gita is included as a subject. And these people, they study Bhagavad Gita as a matter of subject. And then second thing is, they know like how many verses are there, 700 verses are there, 18 chapters is there. They know how to recite the verse. But this is just information. Then second thing is understanding. This understanding, it will come when we very nicely keep ourselves pure. So when we keep ourselves pure, automatically, see, whenever there is a place that is pure, Krishna comes. That's why you can feel that like the potency here. Similarly, when we keep our hearts clean, automatically Krishna comes there, and automatically Krishna gives us that strength to understand this wisdom of Gita. And finally, the third thing is realization. Like realization is knowing that this is the truth of life. This is what Bhagavad Gita is trying to tell to us, and then applying that Bhagavad Gita in our day-to-day life. You see, this is what we see when we go out and when we tell people, please take the book. They think that this is very impractical because they're so impure that it's very difficult for them to even read and accept these instructions, understand. First, second level, third level is like practically applying this like very difficult. That's why we emphasize that along with the external cleanliness, internal cleanliness, it matters the most. And then presence of Lord Krishna. So here we see that there is one beautiful story that how before the war, what happened is that Yudhishthira tells Arjuna that you go to Krishna and you ask for his Narayani Sena. Now Arjuna goes to the place where Krishna is present, and Krishna is resting. Basically, Krishna is sleeping. I mean, in one of the slides I have added that we will discuss. And Krishna is sleeping, and before that only Duryodhana is already present before Arjuna reaches there. Now Arjuna, when he comes, automatically like Duryodhana is present at the head of Krishna, so Arjuna is sitting near the feet of Krishna, and then they're waiting for Krishna to come, Krishna to get up. Then when Krishna wakes up, automatically, let's say I'm sleeping, I wake up, I cannot see who is near my head, I can only see who is near my feet. So he becomes very happy seeing Arjuna. He greets Arjuna, he hugs Arjuna, then he says, what makes you come here? And then he asks Arjuna, like, what is the reason you are here? Then Arjuna says that like this, we came to ask help for the war. Then Duryodhana says, hey, I am also there. I am also there. I came before him and I am waiting. So I have also come for the same reason. Now Krishna says that I will give you two options. One is, I will be present with you, but I will not hold any weapons. I will not fight. Second thing is, my Narayani Sena will be with you. Now Krishna will tell that since I saw Arjuna first, I will give Arjuna the opportunity to choose. Duryodhana is in anxiety because Duryodhana came for Narayani Sena. He wanted the Sena very badly because he knows that like Krishna's Sena is the biggest and he needs help, such a well-trained Sena. But Arjuna picked whom? Arjuna picked Krishna. We see the presence of Lord Krishna, even though all the qualifications was there, but just by the presence of Lord Krishna, Arjuna emerged victorious. Then we also see that blessed with good fortune and presence of great devotee Hanuman. So we will discuss about blessed with good fortune. You know about the story of Hanuman. You know where Hanuman was present in the battlefield of Kurukshetra? On the flag. So anybody knows that story? Like how Hanuman came onto the flag? It's a very beautiful story. That how Hanuman, he belongs to Treta Yuga. So like when Bhima was told to bring golden lotuses. So when Bhima was roaming around in the forest, so he sees that a very huge monkey is lying, and this monkey's tail is like blocking his way. And as a matter of respect, we don't cross somebody's body, correct? So the Bhima asks, please move your tail. Very like proudly he asks, you move your tail. I want to take the lotuses and I go. Then Hanuman says that I am very old. I am not able to even move here and there. So please, you only move, keep the tail aside, and then you start moving. But when Hanuman tries to lift the tail, when Bhima tries to lift the tail, it's not at all possible for him. It's so heavy. Bhima's all his strength, all his pride, all that will be shattered. But then Bhima will realize that this is not an ordinary personality. Then he'll bow down and then he'll ask, who are you? And then Hanuman will reveal that he's in the Treta Yuga and how he's waiting for him to meet Bhima. And then they are basically both are Vayuputras. They are basically siblings. Then they both will hug each other. Then they both will share the good relation. And then Bhima will think this is the right opportunity. If Hanuman is there during the time of Treta Yuga, Hanuman and Vanaras just they won the battle. So if Hanuman is there, whom do we need? So he will request for help. Now Hanuman will tell that if I come to the war, just if I blow the air only, everybody will, because we can imagine Hanuman's size. He's from Treta Yuga, and then these people will be like very small. So Hanuman says that no, me fighting is impractical, but definitely I will be with you in the form of flag. I will be on the flag, and I'll ensure that you will emerge victorious. So in that way we see that Hanuman will be there. Now we'll see these four, you can all repeat: holy environment, presence of Lord Krishna, blessed with good fortune, and presence of great devotee Hanuman. Like how we were discussing holy environment, cleanliness, first thing we have to keep external cleanliness, and for internal cleanliness what is needed? Chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. It is so much important that even daily 108 times, one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra we chant, our body becomes such a patra, it becomes such a good vessel, no, that automatically we can understand scriptural knowledge. See, even if you take my example only, few years ago when I was trying to read Bhagavad Gita on my own, especially during my engineering times, not at all possible to understand because of that impurity, so many holes are there in the vessel. It's like water is flowing, but because of the holes it's just draining. But when I started chanting, automatically purification happens, that holes get patched up, and then when the holes get patched up, whatever knowledge is Bhagavad Gita it's coming, you can absorb very easily. You become like a sponge. Very easily you can understand, relate, you can see how you can apply it in our life. That's the difference between outside world and spiritualists. They may try to read Bhagavad Gita for so many purposes, like doing their PhD or just for the sake of reciting shlokas and things like that. But when we spiritualists, when we try to make our base clear by chanting, make ourselves pure, then absorption, understanding and applying becomes very easy. Second thing is regular worship. So even worshipping the lordships, it's very important. It helps us become pure. And see, we all might be in PG, we all might be in house, but it's not difficult for us to keep a small photo and then offer whatever possible, offer flowers, offer an incense stick. You can feel the difference in yourself, in your room itself, and you can just offer obeisances, sit in front of that photo and chant. In fact, if you see many of the Matajis, the Matajis who are here, I'm very happy to say that even in PGs, we consider PGs, so many people say that PG is so dirty, we cannot keep the Lord, we cannot keep so and so. But I have seen myself personally when I went to their PGs, in their cupboard, one section will be exclusively for the lordships. Simple photos they'll keep, every day they'll ensure that they'll offer flowers, and then they'll offer incense if possible, and then they'll bow down, they'll offer obeisances. And when we invoke the presence of the Lord in our room, you can imagine, not just for the spiritual activities, even for doing any material activities, there'll be such a nice vibe that automatically we get into that flow of activities and things will start working. But let's say in a lazy environment where mountains of clothes are there and it's not washed and everything dirty lying around, we can imagine we ourselves will not feel to get up. What to say about working? We will not even feel to get up. So at least we can all try to keep a photo and then do simple worship. Even if that is not possible, let's say you think that no, it's too much for me, but at least the bare minimum that is mandatory is chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Those who are planning to come to the second level, at least minimum 4 rounds you should be chanting. 4 rounds hardly takes 30 minutes. So I always say that 24 hours and 30 minutes to Krishna. You can even compare. If in the Tulabara if we keep 24 hours, like 23.5 hours and 30 minutes, it's nowhere. But at least after attending these sessions, 30 minutes of dedicated time for chanting 4 rounds. And those who are very new, who have come 1-2 sessions ago, at least 1 round of chanting Hare Krishna Mantra. But daily, at least daily, and if possible in the morning. Like how we don't go without taking bath, correct? Similarly, we should not go without taking our internal bath also. And you will feel the difference yourself. Especially when we do a regulated chanting 4 rounds, you can see the difference yourself. Like how last time I was giving example that 10 minutes you go to a yoga center, do yoga, they will say please go. 10 minutes, physical yoga won't work. What to say about training our brain, training our mind, which is so much chanchala. Definitely at least 30 minutes of training is needed for our brain. And second thing is again to clean something which is very dirty. Everybody agrees our heart is filled with so much garbage from this life, previous life, time immemorial. So you can imagine how much soap water, colon, what and all we have to put to clean it. So we have given this best, simplest method of chanting Hare Krishna Mantra. So if you have not started, please 1 round. And if you have already started, slowly try to increase to 4 rounds, and you can see the difference yourself. Like how I'm saying, no, when you come to this room, you can feel the difference yourself. When you're hungry, you have food, nobody has to tell you that your hunger is satisfied or your thirst is quenched. Similarly, when you start chanting and hearing nicely, you can see the difference yourself. And chanting, it removes all the negativity. This world is full of negativity. There are so many people who want to trouble us, who want to cheat us, who want to harm us. Then there is our mind, our body which is troubling us. Then there is our expectations from relatives, friends, family. We are bombarded with so many things. And Krishna, what he is saying? He is saying that just sit in front of me, chant and hear my holy names, and you will get all the strength in the world to face everything. And like how we see, if Arjuna on the battlefield could get all the strength to face the battle and win, not just face the battle and lose, but face the battle and win, why our chota Kurukshetras, why it will not get solved if you follow the principles of Bhagavad Gita? Negativity will be replaced by positive vibrations. Then second point, first point is holy environment. Second point is, see, these are the practical things I am giving. You can note down on it, you can remember, and little things you can try to practice in your home. And you can come back to me. If something is not working, you can come back to me. If I am not able to help you or convince you with the answers, then I can go to my superiors. And basically what I want from you all is apply something and then tell me if it's working or not working. That's okay. Basically how Bhagavad Gita helped me, I want same Bhagavad Gita to help you all. And if we just for the sake of coming to sessions, hearing and going back and forgetting, these sessions won't help all of us. Definitely it will not help all of us. We should put little endeavor to ensure that, at least to try that. Let me try. Mataji has told that it's working for them, it's working for her, it's worked for so many devotees who are practicing, not just in our country, in so many countries. Let me just give it a try, if it works or not. And you give it a try, and then if you're facing challenges or not able to sustain, then you can come back and we can discuss. Second thing is good fortune. And here we see that how people, like this quote, one who chases fortune may or may not get it, but one who follows the Lord, all fortune will come to him. So we all do Lakshmi Puja, but we in Krishna consciousness, we say that please worship Narayana along with the Lakshmi, because we see what is the nature of Lakshmi? Very much chanchala. Lakshmi doesn't stay at all. Anybody, any richest of the rich person you take, money doesn't stay at all. But if you see, if Lord Krishna is there with us, where is Lakshmi place? Lakshmi is in the heart. Lakshmi is in the feet of Lord Vishnu. Automatically when Lord Vishnu comes, Lakshmi also comes. And there's this beautiful verse from Brahma Samhita. Chinta mani prakara sadma shukalpa vriksha laksha vrateshu surabhera vipalayantam Lakshmi sahasra shata sambrama sevyamanam Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So what is that word? Sahasra Shatakoti Lakshmis. How many Lakshmis you want? One Lakshmi. But how many Lakshmis are serving Lord in spiritual world? Sahasra Shatakoti Lakshmis are worshipping. Automatically, when you invoke like Krishna in your homes, in your hearts, you don't have to do any extra endeavor. Automatically, Lakshmi comes. But the problem with the people is that they think that we will only worship Narayani. Like, see, what was the mentality of Duryodhana? He wanted the Narayani Seva. And what was the mentality of Ravana? He wanted Sita. He didn't want Ram, he wanted Sita. What happened? Got burnt. What happened to Duryodhana? Again failed. Again died in battle. We can see those who just want the Narayani and the basically Lakshmi, and those who don't want Lord. First of all, there is no success. Second of all, there is so much of harm. There is so much of failure that is happening. And also we see that when we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, what does Hare represents? Hare, it comes from the word Hara. Hara means the energy of the Lord, the supreme potency, the prime supreme incarnation of all the Lakshmis is Srimati Radharani. So when we add E to it, we are calling, oh Srimati Radharani, oh Krishna, please come, please purify my heart, please help me. We are begging. Every Hare Krishna Mahamantra we are begging, please. Everybody is around me, but nobody can help me. Only you who can help me. You, oh Krishna, oh Srimati Radharani, only you can help me. So please help me. Like this we are begging out. And when that powerful holy name enters our heart, when it enters our ears and reaches our heart, automatically the cleansing process begins. That's why we say the more the dirt, the more you cleanse. At least come to 4 rounds. And we saw that how when Arjuna he chose the Narayan over Narayani Sena, automatically there was victory. This was that story where I was telling that Arjuna, when it comes to us who are practicing now, started practicing, there will be so many tests. It's not that there will not be tests. At every point, like how Arjuna went through the test, we will also go through test. We will be either good job or Krishna, good hike or Krishna, this or Krishna, this or Krishna. So many times it will be there. And whenever we choose something over Krishna, definitely we may or may not get it. There is always a doubt, but we will go behind in spirituality and we will more or less will suffer. And if you see, when we choose Krishna, when we prioritize Krishna over everything, Krishna will be there. Automatically all these things also will come in, fall in picture. We have so many devotees around us only. If the devotees, when they try to switch, if they get a job where there are no devotees around, there is no temple around, they don't switch, because they feel that if Krishna is not there, automatically I will end up in failure somehow or the other. So in that way, but soon after, when they choose some profession where they can stay around devotees, stay near temple, do bhakti, we see automatically Krishna is there with them. All these things, promotion, high, good salary, everything comes along. It's not that ISKCON devotees are bereft of wealth. We see how many, in Delhi itself, we have around 18 temples. Even in Bangalore itself, you might be knowing, might not be knowing, we have 4 temples already, big temples. We will go on small yatras also from now on. And our temple, Whitefield temple, is also coming very soon. And one temple, you can imagine how many crores of rupees are needed to bring one temple. But devotees are want to work for Krishna, and Krishna gives them. When Narayana is there, automatically Narayana will come along. You don't have to, definitely you have to do your work. It's not that you just stay quiet, but you don't have to worry much, be in anxiety and things like that. And even when we worship, do Lakshmi Puja and things like that, definitely if we don't keep Narayan, then it's just that we are calling the Chanchal Lakshmi who will not even stay for a while. And third thing is association of great personalities. This is where we discussed about Hanuman. You would have heard. Just by the presence of Hanuman, who was in the chariot, he didn't even fight. He was just present. We can imagine how the Arjuna emerged victorious. And materially also we would have heard this quote, no? We are the average of 5 close people with whom we hang around or with whom we associate with. So a man can be known by his company. And we see Karna, he was such an amazing personality, but because of his association, it led him to death. And also we see another thing that when we are not in the right association, that is when actually our downfall begins in both the spiritual life as well as the material life. Because what is the nature of the people around us? Anybody you take, It's the crab mentality. Have you heard of crab mentality? You know, when fishermen, when they carry the booty of crab, the basket of crab, they don't keep a covering to it. But the crab has to go out easily. But why they don't keep? Do you know? The crabs, they are so much. They spend their time in. If somebody is coming out, they pull, and then this crab is going, other crab will pull. So each of them, they are so busy in pulling each other's down that no crab will go out. So the fisherman, whoever catches the crabs, he is so very happy. Very easily he is carrying them. And those same crabs, if they were not having that mentality, they would have all gone out and they would have been free. This is the mentality. Everybody. I don't have to explain. In the IT world, so it's very, very common. Nobody want to see us succeed. Nobody, even little things, some small awards or some small hikes, they cannot even tolerate. Some small appreciation from others also people cannot tolerate. They will be just waiting how to pull each other's down. They may show or they may not show. And that's why we see I say that only a spiritual person can know how to contribute in any relationship, be it friendship, be it family, be it any relationship, because he knows that ultimately everybody is connected to Krishna. That's why the concept comes, no, Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Everybody is connected to Krishna, and I am a son of Krishna, I am a daughter of Krishna. Others are also siblings of Krishna. How we take care? Do we harm our siblings? No, definitely we will not. Similarly, when we start seeing others as our near and dear ones, maybe we will not help them. At least we will not harm them. At least we will be in that state. That's why we say that we have to take the association of spiritualists, because see, materialists, even though externally they may wear good clothes and they may pose themselves good, how long they can hide their bad qualities? You all would have experienced that the best of the best people in your life, they would have shown their true color at one or the other point of life, because they cannot hide their bad quality or innate nature, true nature. It comes out, somehow or the other it comes out. But spiritualists, because they know what is their relationship with Krishna, what is their relationship with others, very, very nicely they can handle people. So the association of selfless, simple and straightforward, pure-hearted people, especially all these qualities only spiritual practitioners can have. And especially I can give examples, especially those who call you to invite you to the sessions. You can imagine they're selfless. If you see what benefit they get in calling you all, they get no benefit. In fact, sometimes they get scoldings that, Arey, we don't want to come, why are you even calling us like that? They want to be your well-wisher. They want to help you, because even after weeks and weeks of calling, we see how many people turn up. If let's say devotees don't call you, then you think that, oh, maybe class is not there, maybe some other things are there, and your mind will say, please sleep today, and you will end up not coming. And these people, they're simple, they straightforwardly, they tell you, please come to this session, you will get benefited. And what is their agenda? They are very pure-hearted, and they just want to say that, I have got help because of this, now I want to help you. That's the simple, straightforward statement they have. And they just want you to experience what they have experienced. And we see, if you see outside world, including where we are staying, even the next person in the next room where we are staying doesn't bother about us. And it's very, very hard to find someone who truly cares about us, who calls us, who inspires us to come. And in fact, I'm very proud to say that I have very, very close friends who are devotees, and at my tough times, I don't know if my relatives have come or not, but all these dear Matajis, they have come to such an extent that I cannot even think, even when there was a situation when my parents could not come, they have come and they have helped me. And from where they are getting this love, care, compassion? It's from the Krishna. And when we more and more, when we understand philosophy, when we understand the Krishna, his Bhaktavatsala nature, his loving, caring nature, more and more we chant, more and more we become pure, we start getting the divine qualities of Krishna. And when we are around such people, automatically we get, at least we will see that we are in a protective environment, we will not be harmed. And in that protective environment, we can at least advance in bhakti. That's why we emphasize everyone that please come to these sessions at least once in a week, so that you can experience that feeling yourself, the feeling of purity in the center, the feeling of purity of the devotees, and you can steal that purity and you can go. See, you cannot, even if you cannot earn it, you can steal that purity and you can run your next week. And finally, like this is the 18.78 shloka. So what was Dhritarashtra asking? These Pandavas and Kauravas are fighting. What happened to Sanjaya? Now Sanjaya explains all the 699 verses and finally he says this verse. You can repeat. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna.
Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna.
Yatra Partho Dhanurdara.
Yatra Partho Dhanurdara.
Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutir.
Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutir.
Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama.
Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama.
Can you anyone loudly read? It's a very, very wonderful shloka.
Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdara, Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutir, Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama.
Thank you, Mataji. Translation?
Whenever there is Krishna, master of all mysteries, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme master, there will also certainly be triumphs, victory, extraordinary power, and
Morality. That's
that
very
is
good.
my opinion.
So, what, to the question that Dhritarashtra asked, what Sanjay is telling, that he is telling, he told all the 699 shlokas, then he is telling Krishna is there on Pandava's party, you forget the victory. You forget that you had at least 1% chance, you were thinking, so you were asking this question that, oh, what happened on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, you just forget it because Krishna is there, Krishna who is Yogeshwara is there, Partha who is Dhanurdara is there, victory is guaranteed. If you see, like we already went through the story that how, because Krishna was there on the side of Arjuna, Krishna didn't fight. Krishna told very clearly, I will not fight, I will not lift a weapon. But even though whole Akshoni was there, whole Narayani Sena was there, all the talent, all the expertise was there, Duryodhana could not win. And another thing is that when we take shelter of Krishna, especially when Arjuna took shelter of Krishna, Krishna promised that I will ensure that not even one arrow touches you. And Krishna kept his promise that nothing happened to Arjuna. And Krishna also says that, like, Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Ejana Paryupasate Tesham Nityabhiyukthanam Yogakshemam Vahamyam. Yogakshemam Vahamyam means Krishna is telling that whatever you have, I will preserve it. Whatever you lack, I will give it. You can imagine somebody who comes to our life and who says that, who tells us that you are lacking in so many things. They'll tell that they will only focus on that lacking and they'll fault find, they'll say that this is what you are lacking, this is what is happening, this is what you have to do. And Krishna, what he's telling that whatever you have, Vardhanam, I will increase it. And whatever you are lacking, he's not telling, are you lacking? You do this and this and this and then I will fix it. He's telling that I will give that to you. And again, when it comes to Arjuna, not even one arrow pierced Arjuna. And there was one situation where Karna had a boon. He had an arrow which would turn into a serpent. And when that arrow came, Krishna saw Arjuna was like very busy in fighting other warriors. And Krishna saw that, and Krishna, what he did, he kicked the chariot, and the chariot went below the ground level, and that arrow hit the mukut of Arjuna, and the mukut fell down. And Arjuna is asking, what are you doing? Please focus. He's telling Krishna, what are you doing? Please focus. And Krishna is telling, if I would not have focused, you would not be here today. You can see how great Krishna is, how he's ready to do anything. He's ready to do anything to save his devotees. And imagine, the same instruction which Krishna is giving to Arjuna, he's giving to all of us in the form of Bhagavad Gita. That you just follow this life manual and you just surrender unto me. You just take my shelter. I will protect you in all possible circumstances. And like how Mataji was telling, little earlier, I don't know if you all would have come, a devotee, he gets reciprocation from Krishna. Some other reciprocation. Otherwise, a devotee cannot sustain without experiences. Just philosophically, see, I can only keep on telling you theories. When you read, practice, and when you see that hand of Krishna in your life, that time you can feel that this is what Mataji was trying to tell. This is what Krishna was trying to tell. And I can only say that gulab jamun is this maroon in color, juicy, sweet, spongy, fluffy. Only when you eat it, you'll say, this is it. This is what they were telling about. This is how it tastes. This is how it, this is how the texture is. And be rest assured that Krishna will give you that experiences. It's not that just because like I heard Bhagavad Gita from my superior, I'm here. I have got those little, definitely we will not be able to like huge experiences we cannot find because we are still impure. But that little experiences, they cherish us so much that we keep them close to our heart. And when we start seeing Krishna's hand in our life, we can imagine like somebody who is always there giving us shelter, who is giving us protection, who is ready to help, like how he helped Arjuna. We become fearless. There is nothing for us to fear. There is no anxiety. There is nothing for us to worry about because we know that there is somebody. Like for Arjuna, that's how he didn't see Karna. He didn't see anyone. He was like in his own world because he knew that Krishna is there. Similarly, the presence of Krishna in our life, I cannot even like tell you in words how important it is and how merciful it is. And this one bhajan, which is a favorite bhajan of mine, it goes like this: Bhajahu re mana Shri Nandanandana Abhaya Charana Ravindhari. You see, what is the situation of all of us? We are fearful about something or the other thing. Somebody is fearful of snakes, somebody is fearful of people, somebody is fearful of managers, somebody is fearful of water, heights. There is no person who is not fearful. Somebody is fearful of death. Death is something which everybody is fearful of. But what is being told in this bhajan? Bhajahu re mana. Oh mana, you are behind so many things. You are behind that iPhone 16 Pro Max. You are behind that new model of car that has come. You are behind your promotion. You are behind so many things. But Shri Nandanandana, please worship Shri Nandanandana. So then we can ask, what do I get by worship Shri Nandanandana? Abhaya Charanaravinda. Abhaya means you become fearless. Krishna will keep you at his lotus feet, and you can imagine a mother who is holding a child, how safe the child is, and Krishna keeping in his shelter, how safe we are. We cannot even imagine how safe, how protected, how cared we will be. So we need to have Krishna, and we need to have devotees. Again, when it comes to Arjuna also, how we were discussing, association of these great personalities, it's very, very important. And Arjuna, we see how initially he was so much in anxiety, so much in difficulty, and then he heard Bhagavad Gita, and then in the end he's telling that Karishye Vachanam Tava, whatever you say, O Krishna, I'm ready to accept it. And that purity, that by the association of such pure devotees like Krishna, by the association of Krishna, and by the association of pure devotees like Hanuman, and by the presence of people like Arjuna, who will not just face the difficulties without taking the spiritual help, especially help from Bhagavad Gita, once in a while win and lose, not just like that, but who always take shelter of Bhagavad Gita, who gives us the help from Bhagavad Gita, the wisdom of Bhagavad Gita, how we can practice in our day-to-day life. When problems comes, how to use that essence of Bhagavad Gita in our own life and see the difference in our own life. Then we see that when we have these two, especially Krishna and Arjuna, and devotees like Krishna, devotees like Arjuna and Hanuman, we see that automatically victory becomes a second nature. Like we saw Arjuna just followed Krishna's instruction and he fought. In fact, in between, Krishna says that all these soldiers, they're already dead. They've already been killed. You're just a nice instrument. Similarly for us also, all these struggles, all these difficulties, all these tough time that we are going through, actually it is solved in one phase of in one angle. But the problem is that we go to the other part and we put ourselves into difficulties. We go and invoke for difficulties. We go and fix the problems haphazardly, and that half gets fixed. That half will give to another problem. That half will give to another problem. In this way, we see it's. If we revise, so what are the four things that we discussed? Holy place, presence of Lakshmi, presence of Lord Narayan, presence of Krishna himself, and then association of devotees. And what was the last one? It was basically three things. That is holy place, and presence of Lord, and association of great personalities. And we also see that how when we are clear in our life that yes, we want victory, then we need these two people, like how Krishna, as in the form of Yogeshwara, he was present, ready to always provide help, and an expert person like Arjuna, who accepted the instruction of Krishna, who fought for the sake of Krishna and who emerged victorious. And we also see that Krishna, Arjuna says that by your mercy I have regained the intelligence. Nashta moha smritir labdha tatvat prasadam me achyuta stitosmi gata sandesha karishye vachanam tava. Here actually this is the last thing we will end here. So here it is said that Nashta moha smritir labdha, I was illusioned. We also see that, like when we go behind so many things, we are illusioned. We think that this will give me happiness, that will give me happiness. We are just going behind. We get that temporary happiness, again next thing, again temporary happiness. In between, like so many lows are also there, which we will not even tell anyone. And then he says that Tvat prasadam me achyuta, by your mercy. What did I get by your mercy? Stitosmi, I have become stable now. How was he? Hands was trembling, Gandiva he kept down, he is not able to focus, he is like shivering. Still in that I am stable now. And Karishye Vachanam Tava, I am ready to follow your instruction. Similarly, when we start asking Krishna, what am I supposed to be followed? And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita clearly, in life manual, what is to be followed. And then when we start following it, at that time we see that automatically Krishna's presence will be in our life, and automatically the victory, we will emerge victorious, we'll come out with flying colors, because like we need like that everybody know in our oneself we have Duryodhana also within and we have Arjuna also within. It's up to whom we feed. If we feed Duryodhana mentality more and more, oh I can become an expert and win, I can have talent and win, I can plan and win, definitely all those things are needed. It's not, no doubt that it's needed. Just those things will make me win. Then Duryodhana personality will get puffed up and finally lose. But when we have Arjuna personality roaring in our heart, yes, I will follow you, O Krishna. I will follow the instructions of Bhagavad Gita. I will definitely try to chant, hear your holy names, purify myself, absorb Bhagavad Gita, follow the instructions to whatever extent it's possible. Then we see automatically the victory becomes our second nature. And both, it's not just when I say about victory, it's not just about spiritual life. All these things which we discussed, the holy space, the presence of the good association, and then the presence of Lord Krishna, it's needed even in the material life. We think that yes, these are the only factors, but when we get hit at the rock bottom, we'll realize that no, at the end of the day, like all these things, definitely it mattered to what, like matter to the success, and I need to be successful. That's why I have to follow all these things. And these lessons definitely, like how I said, we need to invoke the Arjuna aspect within us, and we need to have the constant association of the Lord. What is the best form to have constant association of the Lord? Chanting. See, nobody can stop you from chanting. I always say, like, I have like few close friends of mine whose parents don't support them to do bhakti. I tell her, what is stopping you? There is nothing. See, Krishna is telling, especially in this age of Kali Yuga, you chant. What is stopping you from chanting? On the opposite, I have few other friends, again, in whose house they don't support spirituality that much. They wake up before their whole family wakes up, chant 16 rounds, read Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and when their parents wake up, they're normal as if nothing happened. I just woke up and I'm starting my work. Even that kind of people are there. And if not anything, see, chanting, there is no, like, you don't have to pay. It's if I say that for one round you have to pay me 1,000 rupees, then okay, I understand that you will hesitate chanting. There is nothing to pay. All that you have to do is like have your own set of beads, set of bead bag, and then chant wherever you go. See, we always devotees, we carry our bead bag along with us, because it's like a weapon for us to be saved from the illusory life. So whenever we get time, we just keep on chanting. We just go on chanting and hearing, and this gives us a lot of strength. Automatically what happens, especially when we are at work, when we are not able to actually take out our beads and chant, automatically tongue starts vibrating, and automatically we can remember Krishna, we can remember his holy name, and even though stressful situation, even though when Krishna is there, what stress can stay there? Duryodhana couldn't stay. What stress can stay there? Definitely it will not stay. And these things I'll say you can experience, but at least you have to start taking the tablets. I cannot just tell you, yeah, this is the medication every week, this is the medication. So please start. If you have not started one round, if you have started at least 4 rounds, and then Bhagavad Gita. See, we need Krishna. Everybody is assured that yes, we need Krishna in the form of holy name. So if you don't have bead bag, purchase. It's just one time. And then we need Arjuna. So how Arjuna aspect comes when we start reading the Bhagavad Gita shlokas. One shloka with translation and purport per day. So totally you can dedicate 35 to 40 minutes. This is what is expected. You dedicate for 1 week 35 to 40 minutes, 30 minutes 4 round chanting, 5 to 10 minutes for one shloka. I'm not asking more than one shloka, translation purport. And then next week you come back and you tell me the difference or what struggles you're facing, what difficulties you're facing. So here like 3 practices like mantra meditation, Bhagavad Gita. You can also download the shloka per day app. It's in the app store. Whenever you're reading the shloka, let's say you're finding difficult to understand, the very simple explanation, 5 to 8 minutes, 10 minutes explanation is given, so that, and you can reach out to any one of us, one who is calling you or even me. And please don't miss these sessions, because like it becomes very difficult to make people understand when they don't hear, when they don't come in association of devotees, because we know what is right, but if you are not coming, if you are not able to like follow, at least come to this session and make the most of this session. So yeah, we are late today, but yeah, if you have any questions, we can take. Any questions anybody have, or